Please check the chapters in this video because I want to make sure you get exactly what you came for. If you're only interested in the tutorial, if you're only interested in the swatches, that will be detailed in the chapters so that you get what you need out of this video. Welcome back, beauties, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Denise, and today's video is all about the new Natasha Denona Eye Sculpt Texture and Tone eyeshadow palette, the dramatic version. When I seen this palette over on Instagram, I immediately knew that I wanted to try it. I really wanted to try both the soft and dramatic, but we're going to start with the dramatic first. That's what we're going to take a look at today. We're going to do swatches and we're going to create a look. And I'll tell you if I think it's worth it because the price tag is quite hefty. So believe it or not, I haven't even looked at the palette. So this is my very first impression on here together with you. Before we dive into it, if you are not already subscribed to the channel, I would love it if you would subscribe and, of course, give this video a like and a share. Also, for my beauties that watch me on TV, you're going to get a QR code up on the screen where you can just scan it on your phone while watching on TV, and you'll get a complete list of everything that I use in today's video. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Believe it or not, I've been having this palette in my Sephora boxes. I got it shipped like 2-day shipping. I've been having it for a couple of days and I didn't even open it because I wanted to open it with you and do my first impressions, swatches, and everything together. So here's the palette. It's a little bit blinding because it's white. The back of the palette is really pretty too. It's like a nice taupey rosy brown color. Absolutely stunning, and I haven't even opened it. So I am gonna open it towards you all first. I've not even touched it, and here she is in all her glory. I have not purchased a luxury or high-end palette in over 3 years. Since 2022, when I purchased my Pat McGrath Mothership 10, the year that my first son was born. So this is my very first luxury palette purchase in 3 years, and I am absolutely stoked about it. So because you already seen it, let me see it. Oh my goodness. Ah! This is so pretty. I don't even know where to start. Okay, so in this little palette, or in the box, you get this little pamphlet, and it just gives you some information on colors and their undertones, which I really love. When it comes to Natasha Denona, and actually one of the things that I think kind of hurts her a little bit is that she's so focused in on artistry and color theory that sometimes I believe that it can go over the average user's head. So, but we'll talk about that in another video because you already know. I don't have it on today, but the review on the Natasha Denona foundation is definitely coming soon. Anyhow, she gives you an idea about some looks that you could create. And then obviously she gives you the tone and undertone of all of the roles within her palette. And I really love that. So I don't even know where to start. Oh, so I guess we can do something that's along the lines of, kind of matching my blush that I have on today. So I'm going to keep it neutral, rosy, if you will. Ooh, do I want to do that? I don't know. But while I think about it, I'm just so excited, y'all. Let me go ahead and take this. I don't even need to take the plastic off of the mirror because I'm going to use my big mirror here. So just to dive right in, to lay my base down on today, I'm going to use the Sonia G Soft Concealer Brush along with one of my absolute favorite eyeshadow bases. This is the P. Louise eyeshadow base in the shade Rumor 4. I hope she still makes this because I haven't bought it in so long. But this is one that I love to use when I'm doing a real serious You know what? I'm not even going to say real serious. I do this when I want reliability. I use this particular product because I know it works. And if there's a problem, it's the eyeshadow, not the base, basically. So using the Sonia G Soft Concealer Brush, I'm just going to pat that in on the lid. I think that I'm going to go ahead and dip into the top row in one. Like so. And I'm going to be using the MAC 224 blending brush for that. And so I'm just using this color just to add some structure to the eye. And I'm applying it high in the crease. Okay, I'm going to take my MAC 217 blending brush and this N3 shade. And I'm going to pat that color on the outer corner of my eye. This is a pointy crease brush, dipping it into the same shade. And I want to use this under my eye. All right, I actually want to take a little bit of W1 on that MAC 217, I'm sorry, MAC 224. And I want to use that to blend out N3 because it's very intense of a color. Even though it just looks like a, charcoal-y type of a brown, it's very intense. Okay, now I'm going to take Wild One, and I'm going to use this for like the inner corner color. And I'm using it over that primer, which I already gave my eye some brightness. Yes, this is the same color that I applied the N3 to my waterline with. I just cleaned it off and then used it again because who wants to be using 8,000 brushes? Which color do I want on my lid? What I'm going to do, using a Sonia G Builder Pro, I'm going to take the color W2. Packing that color on the first half of my lid. All right, so I only used one side of this brush. I'm going to flip it over and take the color into and apply that over the center of my lid, blending it into the shade N3. Going back into the MAC 217 to blend out N3. Okay, so I'm going to pop on a lash or some mascara and then a lash, and I'll be right back. Okay, beauties, I'm back and I have my lashes on, and I really do think that the eyeshadow look that we created today is very cohesive with the overall look of my makeup today. It's very neutral with just a hint of warmth, and that's exactly what I was going for. I think that all of the colors blended absolutely beautifully and seamlessly in true Natasha Denona fashion. The mattes were super creamy and easy to blend. The metallic shade is stunning. I would be honest and say that the Danessa Myricks Color Fix sticks have ruined me in regards to things that shimmer, because, you know, sometimes I may want that level of shimmer, and that isn't a fair assessment because the Danessa Myricks is a foil and a metallic is something a little bit different, but I digress. It is absolutely beautiful and to be expected from Natasha Denona, and I think this is an absolute win. I think this is a palette that if you are a lover of Natasha Denona and you are a person of color, all of the colors in the palette are wearable for your skin tone, no matter if you're my skin tone or NC42 or NW55 or NW60, this palette will work for you. To be completely honest, I cannot think of one negative thing to say about this eyeshadow palette. I think that it's practical, user-friendly, and very beautiful. Let's go ahead and turn you guys around so that we can get a better look at the eyeshadow palette, do some swatches. Let's take a look. Okay, beauties, let's take a closer look at the Sculpt palette. I want to compare it to a few other palettes that I have from Natasha in my collection, and also talk about like just the overall format of the Sculpt palette. This palette was designed, the dramatic version was designed with deeper skin tones in mind. You're going to be getting 12 matte shades, 3 high shine metallics, and 3 foil shades in this particular palette, whereas in your typical midi palette you would get 15 shades. I absolutely love the design of this palette. You don't have as much wasted space around the perimeter. It's a lot sleeker, although you're getting more shades in this particular palette. I think that I prefer this particular size of palette, especially for travel. And turning over the palettes, you can see that you have these magnetized pans, as you do in some of Natasha's other palettes. For example, the bronze in the Biba palette, where you can mix and match and move eyeshadows in and out of her palette system as you see fit. So yeah, that is a compare. If you actually look, this palette size is very close to the Natasha Denona Glam face palette. So very travel friendly and very beautiful. The other thing that I wanted to mention is like the embossing of the palette is similar to this one that I have from the Metropolis, and where you can see like in her typical midi formula, it's just like a screened print. There is more of an embossing on the Glam palette, but this reminds me exactly of the Metropolis palette as far as like the detailing. Let's go ahead and jump into the swatches. Okay, let's go ahead and swatch this palette from left to right by undertone, starting with the Peach Warm column. I do already have my arm prepped up, as I would if I were applying eyeshadow on my eyelid. I do have a base on my arm. I'm using my Sephora Best Skin Ever foundation, topped off with my Sephora Blur It Loose powder in the peach shade. So from left to right, let's go ahead and start. W1, W2, W3. 1, 2, 3. Two, or 3, P1, P2, P3. Okay, this is N3. I swatched it out of sequence. N2, N1, C1, C2, C3. Now, that is the palette. And again, oh, I apologize for swatching these out of sequence. This is N3 and this is N1. And if you prep your eye with a base, that's how pigmented you should expect your eyeshadows to be. In this palette, you should expect to see the beautiful, highly pigmented, mattifying formula and metallics in this palette. Also, she did include 3 of her foil shades, so let's point those out. This first shade, this first sparkly shade that I swatched here, W2, is a foil. And P2 here is a foil. It's a beautiful, beautiful warm undertone, peachy undertone. And then this cool undertone, this beautiful pigmented purple shade absolutely love. Those are the three foil shades that you will get in this palette. Now, your metallics, this beautiful Y2 shade, R2, and Into. I love colors like Into because I feel like it's a beautiful one and done type of eyeshadow. And also R2. That is a beautiful one and done color. I love colors like this. Now, I will say that after using Natasha's creamy matte formula, which is P3 here, look at the color payoff and look at the smoothness and butteriness in that color. What I noticed is that in the dramatic palette, you're only getting one of those beautiful creamy matte shades, whereas in the soft, you're going to get 7 creamy mattes. And then now that I know this, I think that I want to probably go ahead and pick up the soft palette because the creamy shades are more of the deeper shades within that palette, and that the formulation on the creamy mattes are absolutely stunning. So what I want to do now is compare this entire palette for you to the Natasha Denona Biba palette, because I think that this one is one that people may automatically draw to and say, oh, well, I don't need this palette because I have the Biba palette. So we're going to swatch that. I'm going to compare those two for you up on the screen. Okay, swatching out the Biba palette, I'm going to swatch this palette from left to right by column, just like I did the Sculpt palette. Okay, that is the 15 pan Biba palette. I do like this palette a lot. You can still get it on the Natasha Denona website. This is a very neutral palette, neutral to leaning cool palette, depending on your shade. I do really like this palette and I love it if I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I just wanted like a everyday type of a situation. If I was going out on vacation and I want a one and done, this would be a good palette. Let's go ahead and compare the Eye Sculpt foil shades and the Glam Face Palette foil shades. Again, the foil shades are here, W2, P2, and C2. This is outer corner and inner corner. One of the things I noticed right away just from swatching the colors is it seems like the Glam Face Palette foil shades were softer pressed. That is going to wrap it up on today. If you love these types of videos or makeup videos in general, you're going to want to check out the playlist that I have linked in this video. And until the next time, I'll see you later. Bye.